Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cardboard East live stream. Um, I realize now that the thumbnail had the wrong day of the week, but the right date. I guess these are things that you just have to deal with because it's just sometimes good things happen, sometimes bad things happen. I guess the real lesson here is that after a week-long convention, you need a rest. You kind of need a rest. Good to see some people here. Good to see you, Amanda. Good to see you, D-Dub Subs 07. And good to see you, Condar 417. Woo! Usually we're going to go to I do Sundays, but today I just need to do Friday because I'm going to be out of town. And it's also just nice because this is the Friday immediately after Gamma. So I'm just here to, it's everything from Gamma is like more fresh in my mind. I spent a whole week in Louisville, Kentucky. And finally, and now back back home. Gamma this year was great. It was I think hands down it was by far the most impactful Gamma. I had some great meetings, really good actionable conversations with people. It was really fun. I had a ton of fun catching up with old friends, meeting with new contacts, and seeing lots and lots of games and seeing what's kind of new and what's going on in the industry. So if you have any questions about anything in particular, just go away. Let's see here. I mean, not go away. Just ask away. Is what I'm saying. Yes, ask away. Keith Donaldson, 2085, asks, "How's your new place?" Well, a lot more room for games. I'm really happy with that. Cheers from Brazil. Cheers from America. I have four 4x4 KLXs to hold my games. And what's really cool is that it's really terrifying when you have, let's see, like you have one KLX and you have another KLX and you stack them together. I push the top one back a little bit. So there'll be like this nice little lip here. And that's why you see all this little shelf of like doodads and stuff like in between. So it makes it just a little bit more fun, a little bit more interesting. You might be asking why I'm holding these two games up. And that's because, well, they're both coming to America or internationally. So Revolve got picked up by Asmodee. If you're not familiar with Revolve, Revolve is the spiritual sequel of Scout. And same designer, same publisher, and it got picked up. So this time it didn't get picked up by Oink. It got picked up by Asmodee. And they called it Dnup, D-N-U-P, which is kind of weird because Dn and up is mirrored. So it's Dnup. I got to play it. And I like Taylor Reiner from Taylor's Trick Taking Table said that his group had people like when you win, you get a letter and you're supposed to spell Dnup, kind of like horse in basketball. And I am one of those immature people who just spelled poop because why not? Because Dnup is just kind of weird, but the gameplay is fine. The cards look great. The cards have this nice texture to them. There's this weird shape. It's like angle, curve. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe it could grow on me. But I mean, I think Revolve is really good. I think it's better than Scout, in my personal opinion. But I mean, you don't really need this deck. You don't need to buy Dnup. You could just use your Scout deck, really. The math is a little different, a little wonky, but you could just use your Scout deck and it's totally fine. The decks are a little bit different. But yeah, reached out to Asmodee, so hopefully I'll be getting a review copy so I could compare this and there for a while. So that would be really cool. The other reason why I held this up is because Trickerous got picked up by Smirk and Dagger. If you don't know Smirk and Dagger, they're the ones who brought you Boop and all the Boop line, like Boop the Halls, Boop, all those games. They picked up Trickerous. It's interesting because like this made me think of last year. I was on some podcast. I can't remember what podcast it was, but they because I do so many. Not really. I don't do that many. So many. Okay, but they asked me like, oh, with the tariffs going on with Liberation Day, what do you think is going to happen with the board game industry? How do you think that's going to affect it? And I thought, oh, it's going to be card games and expansions. And lo and behold, it was just card games and expansions. So this year, it was interesting to see like what other publishers are releasing. What I talked to with retailers and distributors, where everyone felt it was, and it seemed like the general consensus was that people want small games or big games. They want the small games like those big impulse buys, something under $20, maybe 25 and under, and they're like, yeah, I want to take that and go. Like they're really, really happy with that. That still moves, and it always moves. Or they want really something big, like $80 or more, because if it's really good, it's really big, I still want it. And it seems like that $30 to $70 price point, those games still move, not as fast, not as much, but they have to be really exceptional, really, really exceptional games. So I think that's what we're going to see, is that you're going to see some really big bigs and some small smalls, and everything in between is going to have to be really exceptional to get like some traction and movement in the industry. And so following that route, like, and again, this year, you're going to see more expansions and more card games. And I was very surprised, but more roll and rights, because I was thinking to myself last year, I'm like, why are there not more roll and rights? Because they're inexpensive, great markup for the publishers. And then like there's already a fan base for them. But part of me is thinking, like I like roll and rights. It just feels like the market's kind of moved on and people are like, I've had my fill. What's next? And so, yeah, I'm like, at least that's what I felt. But lo and behold, like Gamma, they released, I think there's like 4 or 5 roll rights are coming. So, hey, maybe not. Maybe it's not just massive resurgence, but there's going to be a few roll rights here and there that are be like, hey, remember us? We're your friends. I mean, I say that now, but like Ivy Studio did 10, which is this huge, big roll and write, stamp and write game, and it's done really, really well. I believe their first printing even sold out. But the fact that Smirk and Dagger picked up Triggerous makes me really excited. So you have all these other publishers like picking up some card games, and Triggerous I think is a great trick-taking game. They did change some rules. I reached out to them. Maybe I'll get a review copy soon. I should get a review copy soon. But they changed it to where there's like this rotating trump, and I believe the lightning bolt changes it to where the trump changes, so it could be any of the 4 weathers, any of the 4 suits, as opposed to just like day and night, which I think is a little bit more interesting. But I'll have to play it to see how interesting it's going to be. But those are some pretty big news there. I got to see some really cool trick-taking games that I can't talk about. I got to see some really cool board games that I can't talk about. So once again, if you have any questions, just answer away, and we'll see what we can do. Some other things that I thought about that was really interesting about Gamma and the upcoming ones was, oh wait, let me see. Yes, the big hero of Gamma by far, hands down. Hello, Jedi Sith 3864, the balance of the yin yang being there. Hello to Canada, all the way from America. Kandar, what can you talk about from Gamma? Okay, fine. Well, ask me away. The biggest winner from Gamma, I would have to say is this, the EDG7 from Modern Meeple. I use this thing every day at Gamma, and it was just so nice. It didn't have the weight of the backpack, but I could fit so much stuff in here. Like right now, what's I haven't finished unpacking. What's in here right now are these wasabi peas. I got some like little candies. Chinese manufacturers always give tons of stuff. I have my glasses. I have I packed this weird. I brought Chrono Trigger because I'm playing Chrono Trigger. If you're asking who Cody and Jess are, I have no idea. I think this is the used sleeve I got to put on this. Why do I have the actual cartridge for Chrono Trigger is because I have this Retro Duo portable. And if you don't know what this is, I'll just show you. It's very simple. You just take an old school Super Nintendo cartridge, you stick it in there, and then you can play it if it turns on. Yeah, there it goes. But it's really cool. You can see it kind of there. Best. I mean, this is the best video game of all time. And I got to play this like on the ride there. I played it some nights at the end of the day just to kind of unwind and just relax. But yeah, this is. I mean, I didn't play this at Gamma, like just walking around the halls, being like, I don't want to talk to you. Although some days that kind of would have been nice. Anyway, but yeah, this is that all of that fit in there, like, and even the charger fits in there. What else is in there right now? What's in there right now is the. Oh my goodness, they have another packet here for like if you have like a tablet or something, you can squeeze that in there. Like here's my badge that I had from it. Yeah, this is what I wanted to pull out here. Ooh. Really quickly, if you don't know anything about Modern Meeple, they're the ones who do this Lazy Susan of like game components, and all of this is right here. They have different versions of these here, and they could slide in and rotate. Really, really cool. I use this a lot now. If you haven't seen this, this is something that's quite common at board game conventions. I know people don't really talk about it because they're about board games, but this is like a little kit from like a manufacturer. So like board game manufacturers, and they all have like these cute little kits. I wasn't expecting to do an unboxing, but I am because I think it's something cool that most people don't realize that happens. So manufacturers just have these little boxes here, and they open them. I haven't opened this yet. Okay, cool. So they have like these little things here that show you like, hey, these are all the things that we can do as a manufacturer. And like they'll show you like all these cool things. Like here's some cards, here's some cool components, here's like some metal components, these acrylic components, here's some dice and some minis. So you got like an idea of like what this manufacturer can do and like what they're all about. But it's like every manufacturer has things like this. And no one really talks about them, but it's kind of cool that you get these and you could show them off, and you get to just play with the components. I mean, if you ask me, like when you compare all the manufacturers' kits together, like which ones look better than the others? I mean, they're all about the same. It's those little tiny differences that matter. And you asked me, like I've seen some comments online, it's like, well, the German manufacturer's card quality is better than anything coming from China, or vice versa. And I'm like, man, like you are basing your opinion on particular games from particular publishers, and you don't think to yourself that maybe that publisher wanted a lesser quality card to lower down to increase their markup. Did you ever think about that? Maybe publishers wanted this particular, maybe they felt that like this card game didn't justify like Japanese black cord, German poker finish, top of the line like cards. Like these are all things that publishers think about, and like weights of certain components. So yeah, maybe the publisher didn't want like the creme de la creme, wanted something a little bit lower, but still really good quality. And so I mean, yeah, like these manufacturers just do those. They just give you what the publisher wants. So that's why you see this as big range. So when you open up these different manufacturing boxes, you're going to see you're not going to notice too much of a difference. They're going to be very, very slight, and only if you really have like a trained eye can you really tell those minute like outlier differences. That's going to be really, really impactful for you. I mean, what you should really be looking at when you're looking to a manufacturer is like your product manager on the other side, like how many projects do they run? I mean, it's a big difference between if they run 50 products a year or 20 products a year. That means they have more personal time for you. And like how fast can that manufacturer produce things? Like if quality or time, what is more important to you as a publisher? So these are all things that you have to think about. And boxes like that are great. They're useful. They're great marketing tools. But like I said before, there are much other factors that you have to think about as a publisher. I know this is not not about board games from me. This is all about manufacturers from these, but I just wanted to share my thoughts with all of you about that. Let's see here. Um, Jared asks, were there any trends you noticed at the show in terms of new mechanics or interesting design that got you excited? Ooh. I thought it was really interesting. That's a great question. The trends were that more expansions and more card games. And when I talked to designers, that was kind of confirmed, like more expansions, more card games. And that has me excited because I think that it's so funny to me. Like roll and rights have this wave. Like, I mean, they've been old, long time. Yahtzee's been around for decades now. You have roll and rights just ride this wave of like, oh, they're a thing, but now they're a thing, and now they're not a thing. But all the time, like card games have always been popular. There's never been a point where like people are tired of card games. Like card games are just a constant thing, and it's nice to see that they're getting a little bit more attention, a little bit more love, and it's great because all these medium weight games, like these $30 to $60 um, price point games, have seen a lot of development. And if you ask any YouTuber, any board game content creator, they will all tell you the same thing: is that they have been playing, especially the ones who've been doing this for a while. They'll all tell you the same thing: is that it's very rare for us to play a bad game. Like it's very, very rare for us to play a really bad game, just because the quality uh, of of development has really, really improved over the years. Now, that being said, like it makes it harder and harder to find a game that just gets it right, that hits everything right, hits something nostalgic factor, gets a certain vibe check from players, and it just hits really hard. And that skill set of making like those $30 to $50 price point games just really, really pop is now all being funneled into card games. Can we make like a $30 card game, a $20 card game, just really sizzle, really pop? Can we strip out all this chrome and make this really solid card game? Like you're seeing card games doing that right now, and that's really, really exciting to me to see like that level of development and time and resources going into card games. Makes me feel that they're going to see a ton of great small box card games, and I think that if this trend continues, if the tariffs continue, then card games are going to see, um, I think, an increase in quality. And I'm curious to think like, will that affect the market in the future? Does that mean that people in general will be looking more and more towards small box games? Because if they buy a whole bunch of cool card games, they're going to have their collection is going to have all these small box games, and then it's going to be thinking, yeah, maybe small box games are where it's at. I mean, I love these big box games. I could have more small box games in my home that actually see the table, that are really fast and really easy to teach and play. And I think that in long terms could affect the market, the whole industry in long terms. And these are things that I'm constantly thinking about. Jedi Sith 3864 asks, Jay, have some tea. Thank you, Jedi Sith. Now I'll answer your question. Did you happen to come across anything that you would call a knitting circle game? Love you, retro mechanic Chrono Trigger. Oh, thank you. Maybe I think you're probably saying Chrono Trigger. Anything I love with a knitting circle game. I'm trying to think. Like it's. I mean, there are always knitting circle games coming out, but I see more and more demand for player interaction. I saw a roll and write with heavy player interaction, which you don't expect from a roll and write. I asked that designer, I was like, hey, is there a solo mode for this? And they're like, no, there's no solo mode for this. And then we got into this big philosophical debate of like, should every roll and write have a solo mode? Because most people who like a lot of people who play roll and writes are solo, and they love the fact that they can play this kind of heavy combo game solo by themselves. So the fact that here's a game that heavily specializes in player interaction, but it's roll and write. So do you meet those expectations of people who want a solo mode? I'm on team. Yes, you should. You should always. I mean, taking a game that goes like 2 to 5 and making it go in 1 to 5, you're gonna sell that little one there is gonna sell hundreds of more copies. So why not do yourself a favor and do that? I mean, whether or not it's going to be a good quality game at that one player solo mode is the question, right? And then that makes you as a publisher ask, is it more about the art or is it more about the money? And I think, yeah, there should be a balance, but art doesn't keep the lights on. That's so I'm thinking like it's a better product with that range. So I hope that that helps out. Um, Dub stuff, that's wild. I have no idea what's wild, but I hope it is. Best opening ever for Chrono Trigger. Absolutely. Carbody's grabbing that 90s geek credit in real time. Oh man, it's so good. One game that I do want to talk about, speaking of 90s geek cred, is that I had finished filming. Ah! Sorry, that was that spike, like he leaves. Everyone comes and watches what's gonna happen next. Is I finished everything for Rematch, which is basically Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, the board game. And oh, it's really cool. I finished everything. I'm still editing it. I thought I could edit it in time before Gamma. I didn't do it. I feel really bad. So I'm going to spend the rest of my day today editing that and hopefully getting it out um, either this weekend or by next week, because I think it's really, really good. This game is phenomenal. I think it's great. It really captures that essence of like 90s puzzle fighter games. It's 1v1 game. You have all these zany characters. It's bright, it's fun, it's amazing. And this starts a new chapter in Carbodies, because I feel like I'm no longer want to do just board games from Asia, but also games from Asian designers. And I think this is something is really interesting. This is done by Brother Mean Games. I think he's been doing some really stuff. This has been under development for like 7 years. So that's something I really like, that I trust that he's been developing this for a long time. And that makes me feel like that I can trust it. It just screams like these Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat vibes, because all the characters are wild and zany. Like you have a Mexican firefighter, you have like a Korean DJ, you have a Russian psychic, and it's just fun. There's a learning curve for all of them, but what I love so much is that the game loop is so simple. It's I draw some marbles and I do an attack. That's it. That's it. That's your turn. Now you can either draw 1, 2, or 4 marbles. There's no 3 attack, and you have to do like 1 red, 2 red, or 4 red, and they have to be connected like in these weird Tetris shapes. So you could do a weak attack, you could do a mid attack, you could do a strong attack, just like Street Fighter. And I think that's really, really cool. And it just hits really hard. This is live on Kickstarter right now. So it's going to be, you could go ahead and check it out. I strongly recommend you check it out. It's really fun. The DJ by far is the best character. And I feel like that's just what's going to happen with like these style of games, which is good and bad, because it's good that they have all these characters that you can play. Street Fighter 2 has all these characters that you can play. Mortal Kombat 2 has all these characters that you can play. But with like Mortal Kombat 2, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 5, like Mortal Kombat 3, there's going to be that one character that just resonates with you, and then you're just going to want to play that character like all the time. So it's like you have all this variety, but really you just want one. Like you have the Ryu ice cream, the Blanca ice cream, the Sagat ice cream, but maybe you just want Chun-Li. Like that's just who you are. No judging there. The let's see what else we have here. I love those kits. Here's what they have. I love those kits. It's getting an art kit of random media to use. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I missed the game update. If there are any trends other than small box games. Oh yeah, I saw an ad for that. It's definitely unique. Rematch of Extinction. Unfortunately, I didn't enjoy his other game, React. Hey, I totally understand that. React was kind of like a better Yu-Gi-Oh, but is Summoner Wars type of feel. And if you're not into Yu-Gi-Oh, I could totally get it. And it's pretty heavy, but this one I think is a much better game. Like React, to be honest, like I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. And this just is fire. This hit on everything that I wanted. So even though you didn't like React, I think Rematch is something that you might want to look into, because I think this is what you should probably go for. Da, 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 da. Also, like when you attack your opponent, you're attacking their buttons, like, and like they have these buttons here, and you can damage their buttons to where they're broken, which is really, really cool. And like, if that means if I break your blue button, then you can no longer do blue attacks. That means that your blue marbles kind of become short circuited. So, like, if you have a red, blue, 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 red marble, then I could do a 2 red marble attack. And if I use that more blue, then I could heal my button. What? Super fun. And it's just like you get hit, you get damaged, and you have a superpower attack, and you Hadouken your way back to health. And like, that's how cool is that? Like, if you're weakening, but then you do like a double Shoryuken, Hadouken, Shoryuken, tiger uppercut, and then all of a sudden you get like some health back. Dope. I think that's really cool. That's just, in the words of my generation, we call that dope. That's really cool. Other trends that I saw. There are some other trends that I saw out there. Let me think. I did see like a lot of mid box games, or some games that I actually saw, which is really wild to me, and I wasn't expecting to see this at Gamma. It's hard to think about this, but I saw some games that came out at Spiel last year that were really popular, finally get licensed and brought to the States this year. And to me, it always feels like, oh, that's an old game. Why is that still here and being shown? Or maybe that publisher didn't finish their print run and they're showing more of their new stuff, or more of their old stuff to show, hey, this is what's happened. Or more, they had like a Kickstarter, and now that Kickstarter is being fulfilled, and now it's going to go to retail, and this is what it looks like. And so now anyone can play it. You see a lot of that, and it feels like when you're in the industry, it's like, oh, these are all old hits. Why am I watching these old games come in? And I say old, but it's like a year old. But the most important thing about that is that retailers are very, very different. Like, talking to retailers is a very, very different conversation than talking to like content creators, or a distributor, like or a distributor of like another publisher that are pitching your game to them, and then they could sell the game to in their market, not sell out. Like Pepsi first, no, but these are things that I'm thinking about. And retailers are often, I don't want to say behind the times, but they're not there on the cutting edge of games. Like, sure, they might pick up a cool hot game that think that they fits their market, but they're not constantly buying new games out there. There are also these games that they're tried and true, and they know they're going to sell. So, like, when you ask any retailer who goes there, if you're not familiar with Gamma right away, it's like the Game Manufacturing Association, but it's just a B2B, like business to business convention. So publishers talk to like retailers, meaning like not like Target, not Amazon, not like Books a Million or Barnes and Nobles, but like friendly local game stores. And publishers all meet up and have these cool conversations. And the first thing you always want to ask is, like, I love doing some market research and talking to these retailers and asking them like, hey, what's your best selling game? They're always going to say it's Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and then this third TCG. And it could be anything from like, usually it was Yu-Gi-Oh, but I got a general feel that after the creator passed away, that the Yu-Gi-Oh has kind of like died down. Also, for some weird reason, I've seen consistently retailers tell me that Yu-Gi-Oh players tend to be really sore losers, and they just very, very rowdy bunch more often than not. So they tend to not carry Yu-Gi-Oh pieces because it just becomes an ordeal. Right now, 3 is like, could fluctuate anything from the Gundam to One Piece to Riftbound. And I think Riftbound is probably going to take that number 3 slot, just because everyone plays League of Legends, man. There are more people who play LOL than live in the country of France. Just think about that for a second, and think about that. So I always ask them, like, out of those three TCGs, like, what's what board games go well, and you kind of hear the same thing. Oh, Catan. Oh, Azul, Flip Seven, like Ticket to Ride. Like these constant like evergreen titles. Those are the ones that sell really well. Um, and just interesting to hear some of those insights, to hear retailers like asking them like, "Hey, do you back um, like Kickstarter retailer pledges, like Gamma retail pledges? Do you back those?" And to hear them, I heard some yeses and I heard some nos. And usually I've heard that like small card games are usually a no. Like they don't do that because like you get the game, it's cool, but maybe people don't like it. And then now like there's the MOQ, like your minimum order quantity. Maybe you had to buy like a case or maybe 24, and then now you're stuck with like 24 games that are just going to go to on sale, and that's just the path. But if I get like two big ones like the like Chip Theory's like uh Elder Scroll ones, then you're like, oh wow, these are like these cool big $500 games. I get like two of them, I sell them at a profit, and they go out the door. And so that's the reality that they live in. So they're more of like living off the land, getting games out there. So they're less about the new. They play these games to be like, oh wow, this is going to be really cool. I'm definitely going to order this. This fits my market. Oh, this is a really cool game. I don't think it's going to sell for me. It's not going to work in my market, my community. So this is what like when as a publisher, when you're talking to these retailers, you're kind of like talking to them in a way of like, I want to know, I make sure I talk to them more, not just for market research and my curiosity, but to be like, I understand your community, your market, what works, what sells. And then I could rearrange my pitch to match that. It's like, oh, you're looking for card games that are approachable. Then, oh, like, well, here's my game that's very approachable and it fits this way. And I think this is a better fit for your market. Maybe I have 3 games. I'm like, yeah, these 3 games are really good, but maybe that game, this game here would be better as opposed to the other 2. And you can explain that to them. And these are the conversations that I'm having. And these are more of the trends that I see. Mark Akeromus. I totally mispronounced your name. Finally got you on live. Here I am. I am live. Welcome to the conversation. Jedi Sith love that arcade look, flashy and full of attitude. Yes. Marqueseramus 4498 asks, hey Jay, are you planning to visit Toby, Taiwan Original Board Game Expo 2026 in Taiwan? Wouldn't that be wild if there was a expo that's like named after a country, but it's not in that country? That'd be wild, right? Anyway, sorry. For those of you who don't know, Toby, TOBE, Taiwan Original Board Game Expo, and yes, it totally rubs me the wrong way that they made board game into one word. It bothers me a lot. Like what that is like it's kind of like Taiwan's Produce Spiel. Like it's usually the week or two right before Essen, and they'll have Toby, and they'll have like every Taiwanese publisher will be there. It's really great for them because they can be there. They can have their little sales pitch to gamers who are coming in to check out their games, and then they'll have practice teaching the game, and then and that gives them a chance to kind of perfect their pitch and teach. So that way, when they get to Essen, they're a little bit more seasoned, a little bit more prepared. Really great idea for them. But what's really cool about Toby is that Toby, I mean, there's so many cool things about Toby. One, it's like they have their own convention game. So okay, here's a Toby game. This is what happens, and it's really cool. And I highlight some of the games at the convention. A really cool idea. And every year there's a new Toby game. Awesome. That's great. The other cool thing about Toby is that it's not just Taiwanese publishers. You have publishers from Taiwan, Japan, Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand, and it's growing and growing and growing. Like Sashi and Sashi Go, Itten Go, like there are all these publishers that like from all over go there. So like Origame goes there. Some Vietnamese publishers go there. Thai publishers go there. It's really, really fun, really exciting. If you ever have a chance to go to Toby, I strongly recommend you go. Also, Taiwan is a great place to eat. And Toby, like where it's being held, is right maybe a 5-10 minute walk from this cool area of like downtown Taipei, where there's like all these cool little restaurants where they have like izakayas where you just go eat like, and all the dishes are like really cheap, and you just get a whole bunch of food, and then you realize you only spent like $20. awesome. So like, I think that you should definitely go there if you have a chance because it's amazing. I sadly will not be at Toby just because it's so close to Spiel, and like I would pretty much have to fly to Taiwan, fly home, and then fly to Germany, and that's a lot. That's a lot. If I were in my 20s, I'd be like, woo, let's go, let's do this. But I am not in my 20s anymore, and I'm feeling the old man age is gonna hit me, and like that's kind of the thing where I am. Another cool thing that I did see at not Tokyo Game Market, at Gamma was Wonderful World Board Gaming's newest game called I think it's Lion's Wake. Let me go down here to BGG and see what it's called. Publishers, Wonderful World of Board Games. They're there. We did the linked games. Is it announced yet? No, it's not announced yet. Okay, but they have this new Lion Dance game. Now I know that's weird because there's already a a Lion Dance game out from Hot Banana, which is these really cool Hong Kongese sisters that live in Vancouver, and it's about lion dancing. And that one is a little bit more family friendly, but the one coming out from Wonderful World Board Games, the publisher behind like Lone Wolves, um, is coming out with this pretty heavy resource management lion dance game. I'm really excited about that. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I read the rules and it looks really cool. And I think that's really exciting. Speaking of Wonderful World of Board Games, there's going to be a Lone Wolves tournament at Dice Tower West. So if you're going to go to Dice Tower West, I believe next week in a couple of days, you should totally go and participate in that because it's going to be rad. Just like a nice 1v1 tournament for Lone Wolves. I think that's really exciting. I would totally go and see if I could do that if I had a hotel room in time. I tried to remember last year to book the hotel room. Then I looked it up and it's like, it's all sold out. I'm like, great. That's the one I think I have about Dice Tower West and East. Like these locations are certain there, and like it's kind of like they always pick a location where it always maxes out, not giving them a chance to kind of grow and grow and grow. And maybe they want to keep it locked in because that's otherwise if it gets too big, I can't manage it and I'm going crazy. So maybe they want to keep it right at that level of where they are. Jedi Sith says, you have strong alphabet word opinions. I don't know what that means. Alphabet word opinions. You take on what letter a game name starts with. Was spicy. I dropped the for the board games as an indifferent to board games versus board game. Oh, yes. I understand now. Yeah, I do have a strong opinion about it. It bothers me. You know what's really even weirder is that you have something like, I don't know, like the Castles of Burgundy. I file that under C. And then you have a game like El Grande. I file that under L. But L means the. And just because it's a different language, it doesn't count? What? That's weird. So, yes, that seems really weird. Condar 2714 says, yes, super excited for Lion Wake. The KS page is up to follow. Yeah, it's just, I got to see it. The art looks really cool. The gameplay looks really cool. I just want to be able to sit down and play it because then that would be really cool. I brought this out a long time ago to talk about some of the cool games that are coming out to this year. And I have this note. And yeah, I have all these stickers. And that's because people give out stickers at conventions. I have no idea what to do with them. I could put them on my company laptop, I guess, but I just put them on my notebook, and it just makes me happy to see like all these cool, colorful stickers. And I'm almost done with this notebook, and then I'll be able to start a new one and put some more stickers on it. I think it's tons of fun. So moving forward here, we're turning to cool releases coming out. Astro Out is coming to Kickstarter soon, and that is the publisher who does like all those hamster games in Japan. Like there's a game with this super. Imagine a Japanese hamster being utterly adorable and like, oh, this is so cute. There's a whole game series about that. And like, they work at a farm. I don't know if you're growing hamsters, but I think they're working at the farm because I've never played them. They're really, really cute though, and I always hear good things about them. But now they have one where the hamsters are in space, and it's called. And there's a new Hamsterium coming out. That looks really cool. I'm sorry. There's a game called Astro Out, which is not that same publisher. Sorry, it's Hamsterium, something like that. Anyway, Astro Out comes from SuiWorks, and SuiWorks has been doing a lot of cool games. This is like this space mining game. Astro, ASTRO, Out. That looks really cool. I'm really excited about that. Coffee Rush. If you like Coffee Rush, hey, good news. There was an expansion last year. Hope you picked up a copy. Made it great. So it's now you have coffee and you have cake. Coffee and cake, everyone's favorite weekend meal. But now there's going to be a Coffee Rush Winter Edition that's going to be coming out later this year, and that is ultra cool. So instead of like this, the original Coffee Rush had this like this 4x4 grid, and you're moving your piece around to pick up resources, and those are the resources used to fill contracts, and you get those little resources, you put them in a cute little cup, and you're like, oh, look at the cute little toy cup, and then you fulfill the contract, and you get thumbs up, and everyone's really happy. But now, Coffee Rush Winter Edition is going to come with a modular board, so you don't get that 4x4 grid. You have something that can change that, so that way there's a little bit more variety in your games. That's really cool. They're going to have seasonal drinks out there, so maybe like some eggnog is going to be available. I think that is also some really cool. There are going to be some ingredient changes. So, hey, cool, more Toy Factory things to put inside your little toy cup. Really, really cool. And there could be other upgrades, and they also updated the math of the game. So think of it as Coffee Rush 1.5. So if you're Coffee Rush fans, feel free to be excited about that. I think it's going to be really exciting. Another cool thing about Coffee Rush. Oh my gosh. And like Jekyll versus Hyde. These are all Korean games. So like I got a chance to play this and I'm so happy. One of the coolest things, by far, one of the coolest things I saw at Gamma this year was I met with this Korean company and they specialize in making 3D VR versions of games. I know that might send you running to the hills, but their artwork looks really good. Like it's what you wanted it to be. Like imagine that cartoony Switch look, not Switch, like Wii look, but with modern technology, so everything looks really, really clean and crisp. Like the controls were very, very smooth. I really loved it. And because they're a Korean company, they have a ton of like Mandu games. They have a ton of Korean board games on it. They have Coffee Rush on it. They have Jekyll versus Hyde on it. And I got to play those. So if you have like those meta eyes and you like have that, like you could totally play your games there. And it's awesome. And I got to sit down and all of a sudden I put my glasses on and then I open my eyes and then I'm in this like cool log cabin. There's a raging fireplace behind me. There's like this cool like opponent there. And I played Dracula versus Van Helsing, and he had this look of Dracula, and so obviously I must be Van Helsing, and it was kind of weird. Like I'm playing against this vampire, and I'm playing this game, and it was really, really, really cool. So if you have a Meta or that like a VR headset, you could. I forgot the name of this company, but it's going to be awesome, and it's really, really cool. I would rather play that than BGA any day of the week. Just blows it out of the water. I'm like, oh, this is so much fun. I just felt like, oh yeah, Ready Player One. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to go. I'm just gonna like live in this alternate reality now. I'm never coming back to reality. I guess I have to eat, and I do like food. But that was really, really cool. Hope to see you soon somewhere in Asian related board game expo. By the way, any leaks leads to Rosalie from Ichibakoya. Ichibakoya has reached out and they did say that, yeah, they're interested in sending me a review copy. So I'm very, very excited about that. And I'll be really, really excited to share that with you. All the stuff that they've released, it's a little weird. Like you need to follow Ichibakoya like on Twitter, X, whatever, because Japan uses that social media platform more than others. And it's there. It's really, really cool. It doesn't look as heavy as Sweetlands. It looks to be kind of like Sky Garden Plus levels, like Dino Garden Plus, a level of weight there. But the maples just all look cool. And it looks very, very bright and friendly. It's not too heavy of a game. Oh, did the VR teach the game? No, it didn't. And I think that's awesome because I don't want to sit through some stupid tutorial. I hate it. But you know what is really cool about it is that as I'm playing the game, I turn my head to the left. And when I turn my head to the left, you see like this player aid kind of floating in the sky. So I'm like, oh, cool. What does that card do? What does this card do? Oh, it's there. Boom. Really smooth, really cool. Fire. I loved it. It was great. Like I'm now been thinking like, do I want to enter the VR world? I kind of do. I kind of do. Yeah. I would love to learn a game that way and be able to ask questions. I think it'll be awesome. Do you have a tutorial like that where I could interact with some, I guess, some AI bot that teaches me the game? Like that would be really, really cool. And be able to see it there and you can play it like in VR. That would be really nice. But right now it's just the game. I think as the company started out. If they were able to do that and ask questions, that's a lot because you have to prepare for it. And I know like all of the questions, most of the answers are going to be like, that's an interesting question. I don't know how to answer that. Like, because it's 404, 404, 404. So it's that's what's gonna happen. Other cool things that are coming out are Sail Legacy from Allplay. So Sail, which is Hamlin Cave from Japan, became Sail in North America and I guess like everywhere around the world because they picked up the license for it. And now they made a legacy version of it, and it's really cool. Taylor Reiner designed it, and it looks really, really wild. I'm very excited to try it. Looks really cool. I'm excited for that to come out. There is a Yami, which is from got picked up by I wrote these notes and I can't read them. I'm so sorry. Sky Garden and Dino Garden from Uchibakoya. Speaking of Rosalie, it's finally going to be fulfilling this year. So I'm super, super excited about that to see Sky Garden and Dino Garden hit the tables more often. I think Sky Garden is the #1 weekday night game because it's a little heavy, but not too heavy. And I can play it in like 45 minutes, feel fulfilled, feel clever, have all these cool little things, and then peace, I'm out. Really cool. And there's just enough player interaction in there to kind of wet my beak sort of way. And it's really, really fun. So I'm really excited that Sky Garden and Dino Garden are coming out on Kickstarter or being fulfilled and out. And then you'll be able to order them via their Uchibakoya store. Yes, Yami is Kakubu Buddy Party. Yes. So it is like this trick-taking polyomino game. Wild, right? So it's like trick-taking, and then you get to put these polyominoes like on this little board. It's very, very wild, very, very strange, but it's coming out. It got picked up by Crowd Games. I always call them Crow D because it's like Crow and then a big D, and like, but it's Crowd Games and Masoka. Crowd Games is a Russian publisher. Masoka, I believe, is a French publisher, and that's coming out. And they'll have a cooperative version of it. It's really, really cool. I'm very, very excited about that. Let's see here. Jay. Hey, Jay, going to Hong Kong soon. Do you know any game publisher from there you would recommend? Super Mario Yo-Yo. It's hard for me to read Super Mario and not say it in that ridiculous Italian accent. Super Mario. Yeah. I mean, do Italians think that's annoying? But because I love it. Anyway, yeah, my favorite Hong Kong publisher is Ice Makes. ISE _ makes. They make some really great games. Their best game by far that I've played. So there's a Uchibakoya cube. There's a Taiwan cube here. This is the China cube here, ancient China culture. And then this one right here. Epochs. I have no idea how to pronounce it. EPOCHS. That is a 4X Civ game. It's huge box. Look at that. I'm going to be doing a review of it sometime soon. Awesome game. It might be my favorite Civ game. Might be. Yeah. It's kind of tied with Sid Meier's Civilization, but it's really good. I love it. It's fantastic. They also did Terrascape, which is a great game. But like Epix is one that's there. I mean, it's a bit heavy, but if you can find it, grab it, pick it up, take it home because it's great. Ice Makes is that publisher that I would look for. I grabbed Sky Garden and Dino Garden and Sweetland. My fall gaming will be beautiful. It absolutely will. You will love yourself. You're going to give yourself a hug. You're going to give yourself a high five. You will look ridiculous doing it, but you know you, and you can be very happy. And I'm happy for you. Jonathan Franklin, 461 says, just play the Jeffrey CCH Ice Makes. A beast spent an hour per player. Yeah, it is. Jeffrey CCH is the designer and like CEO, creative director of Ice Makes, and it is a beast. Like Epix is a beast. Epochs, I believe when I looked it up, Jedi Sith 3 at 64. Where are my glasses? Where are my glasses? Where are my glasses? I believe that word is pronounced differently depending on what country and what region of that country that you're from. I mean, that is technically true, aluminium, but I'm not exactly 100% sure because it's where it's like there's a U like epochs, like it's a very subtle difference between British and American English. Epochs. I think it's epochs and epochs. Anyway, moving on. Wondrous Creatures. Boop. This one, right? Oh, I had it right there. Wondrous Creatures from everyone's favorite Korean publisher, or at least one of my favorite, Bad Comet. Great job. They will be having a Wondrous Creatures expansion is coming out. Let that sink in and enjoy it. Also, what's really, really cool about if you're a big Wondrous Creatures fan, I mean, obviously you're going to get the expansion, but what you should also consider doing is picking up the Grip mat. Grip, GRIP mat, like a play mat. They have an Etsy store, and you should go there and buy the Grip mat for it because the mat looks banging. Grip mat, they call it Grip mat because it's designed. The mat is designed so that way when you put things on there, it like there's some friction, so it's not going to slide around and everything kind of stays in place. Really cool. Second cool thing about it is that you can take your water, pour it onto the mat, and it won't bleed through the mat. It's going to like bead up and just kind of roll around on the mat, so it's easy to sweep up. That is really cool until you realize maybe you put all your cards there and instead the water doesn't go into the map, it kind of rolls around the mat and then goes into your cards. Maybe, but no, it's probably a better thing that the water beads up and it's very easy to clean. That's really cool. So if you really like Wondrous Creatures and you play it a lot, I should recommend checking out the Grip mats for it. Also, if you really like Fate of the Fellowship, I strongly recommend you get the Grip mat that's there. It is for like $50. But what's really cool is that the map for the game is here, and the Grip mat version of the map is like this big. It's almost like twice as big. So if you got a table space for it, it's really cool because it's more space to put all the components. Because I know when you play the board game map, like everything's kind of like crammed together, and it's hard to see. And this one's bigger, so you're like, ooh, it's good. Good for me with my bad eyesight. It's not that bad, but it's aging. I'm aging. Jedi Sith says, oh, now I am 10 times more impressed with Jay, cultured and humorous. Well, thank you. Cultured and humorous Jay. Thanks you from the bottom of his heart and aorta. There is, oh, yes. So Rolling Wizard, which is the publisher that gave us this game, Stamp and Branch, which is a really cool game about the Zodiac, is coming out a new game called Saigon. Rolling. Why is it called Saigon? Not because he's a big fan of like 70s cinema, but because they're a Vietnamese publisher. Saigon is a card game with set collection and drafting and city building. You could see some of the early photos on BGG, but Saigon looks really, really cool, and it looks like it's a heavier game. And I'm really excited to try out Saigon. Dragonarium from Wonderful World Board Games, which is a really cool abstract puzzle game. One of my favorites, polyomino games that I've ever played, is finally fulfilling on Kickstarter this year. So look out for that. So All Play had Kickstarter. I say they have four. They have four Kickstarter campaigns like every year. Last year they did Savage Bowl and Sick Tricks, which are two trick-taking games. And they are right there on the table. Let's see if I can bring them. Bop. Bop. Up, Savage Bowl and Sick Tricks. I did a whole video on both of these games, and they're both gonna come to retail this year. So look out for that, because these games are really good. These are both really good trick-taking games. If you already have this one, if you have the older version of it, I don't know if it's really necessary to get this version. If you have the original Sick Tricks, it's so much better to get this one because it's just nice quality production. Also, like the player pieces are no longer cubes; they're cool little wooden meeple skateboards. Awesome, and they have stickers to put on your skateboards. Awesome. So, like, how awesome is that? Right? Really, really cool. I'm gonna put these over there. I'm gonna slide back over here. Elder Tide comes from Esper Studio. That's the publisher that gave us Jisogi, the greatest anime board game ever made. Really quick, Jisogi, I think, is they have a 1.5 version on Kickstarter and an upgrade kit that's available. So, you don't need the upgrade kit, but if you get the upgrade kit, your life will be a little bit happier. I would recommend getting the upgrade kit, but it is not necessary. Their newest Kickstarter, Elder Tide, launched last year, so Elder Tide will be fulfilling this year. It is a pick up and deliver game. It's a really clever game, so if you like pick up and deliver, I might recommend looking into that. Sick Tricks video intro is still the best. Yes! Thank you, Condoc2417. It is probably my favorite intro. I just felt like doing something cool like that, and so I just stuck it in there. It is my favorite intro that I've ever done. If you haven't checked out the intro to that video, that cold open for it, please check it out. I think it's really cool. Terrascape 2, which answers Super Mario Yo-Yo's question. Terrascape 2, which is from Ice Makes. They were on GameFound last year, and it's fulfilling this year. So if it's a really, really good like hidden movement game where the people are trying to avoid the killer, and you're the killer, and you're trying to find the people to murder them. So I mean, it's a better Betrayal on House of the Hill. And I really strongly recommend, if you like horror games, if you like hidden moving games, Terrascape is for you. I mean, dude, you build like this giant mansion, and then the map is right in front of it. It's a very, very cool game. I strongly recommend you checking it out. Really cool game also coming from Vietnam this year is, I have no idea how to pronounce it. Let's see if I could YouTube it or Google it. How to pronounce this. Thinking. Phuc Zoom in the northern accent. In the southern accent, Phuc Yong. Cool. Phuc Yong. That's not what I said, but you know what I said. Anyway, it's a really cool game. It's an area majority. It's a rondel worker placement. Dice placement game. It's coming from NGH Games or NH Games. They're a Vietnamese publisher. This is going to be their heaviest game, and it looks delicious. It's super fun. I saw this really cool Indonesian game about dragonflies at Gamma. Really cool. Like, I get to hold my finger out, and this dragonfly, like they put their like there's a body and then the wings and this really long tail, and you put it there, and it was able to balance on my hand. Really, really cool. Such a silly little gimmick, but the gimmick made the game pop on the table. Very rad, very cool. I really like it. Tricky Bara is a game from it's a trick-taking game with capybaras. What more can you ask for? That's really cool. Haifu. 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 Hi. Haifu, which gets the award for the zaniest Japanese art ever, plays 4 to 5 players only, is coming out, got picked up and is being released by Yellow. So that's going to be really cool. Yellow is doing that. Let's see, Condor 2417 dice worker placement. Yeah, like a dice placement game. I believe it's a dice placement game. It's a worker placement, but there's a lot of dice on the board. I only presume it's a dice placement game. Could be wrong, but if I'm not, I'm going to be super happy. Anyway, Haifu is coming out. Really exciting stuff. Also, Gamehead will be releasing Trick to the Future, and it is a reimplementation of Twinkle Starship, which is a great little card trick-taking game. But now it's called Trick to the Future. With this, it's Back to the Future, but not Back to the Future art scheme. it looks cool. Those are some of the bigger ones coming out this year. Those are the ones I would recommend. If you have any questions, please ask. If there are games that you want to see, please ask. We're hitting at the hour mark, so it's about time for us to say goodbye. That's me talking for an hour. This is me drinking and giving you the opportunity to type in a question before we go. Really quick, videos that are going to be coming up. So I will have the rematch video up very, very soon. I'm going to have, I'm finally going to do the Treasure Shake of Jumha. Oh, yes! Big news. #1 game last year from my 2 #1 games from last year. Best at Another Time, developed by Taylor Reiner, released at Tokyo Game Market, is being picked up and it will be released by Gamehead. Ta-da! But it will not have the side Beppu arts, unfortunately. It's going to have another cool art out there. It's a really cool game, though, regardless of the art. So definitely look out for that. Coming from Gamehead, Best at Another Time. Also, my #1 game from last year, the Treasure Ship of Jungha, will be at Tokyo Game Market this year. If you're going to Tokyo Game Market this year, stop by the booth, pick it up. You will not be disappointed. It is a phenomenal, fantastic Euro resource fulfillment, contract fulfillment game. Strongly recommend it. Definitely get that out. Thanks for all the fun. Have fun. Any news on Dyson Crusoe availability? Man, no, unfortunately. Get picked up by a small publisher. Maybe it'll get picked up by a bigger publisher. I see people playing it more. It's really, really cool. If you look out my window, you might see this little red thing there. I saw it on the computer screen. It looks really weird. It's a canoe. It's a canoe. Not my canoe, my neighbor's canoe. Anyway, those are two big news I wanted to mention, that my 2 #1 games from last year both got picked up. Well, one got picked up. It's coming to North America. And yes, Treasure Ship of Jungha will be available at Tokyo Game Market this year in spring. So definitely check it out. It's super, super awesome. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being part of the live stream. And it's going to be really, really cool. Once again, my name is Jay. I play board games from Asia and Asian designers. Please feel free to check out the YouTube channel, cruise around, check out some of the videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye. What?